Do you have a preference?
Hey guys, it's Jasmine, and that was Puppy, and this is a cat ancestor shirt. Although, check out these super cute cat earrings. I'll link them below. They were a gift, but I think they were the cutest little things. If you are new to this channel and you like cat stuff, or fitness and nutrition and other random things for humans, then make sure to click that subscribe button below, as well as the little bell icon that's right next to it, because we do put out new videos every Catterday. Now, if you're still asking yourself if sodium or salt is bad for cats, then make sure you check out the cat stuff playlist when you're finished watching this video, because that's where you'll learn the answer to that question, as well as a whole lot more when it comes to cat stuff. Today, not only are we going to discuss Lite Salt and why we use it specifically in our raw cat food recipe, but we're going to get into the nutrient in the Lite Salt that has to do with the most common metabolic disease in domesticated cats. Spoiler alert, if your cat suffers from hyperthyroidism, you probably want to stick around. Now, the purpose of using Lite Salt specifically in the recipe isn't only for the sodium factor. It's not even mainly for the potassium factor, of which there is a pretty decent amount. What we mainly use the Lite Salt for in this recipe is the iodine and the ratio of iodine to sodium. So, what is iodine and why is it so important? Iodine is a nutrient necessary for the proper functioning of the thyroid gland and hormone production. These hormones play a vital role in growth and regulating the body's metabolic rate. You may already be aware that iodine is found in many food sources naturally, with the highest levels being in things that come from the ocean, like seaweed, kelp, and different kinds of fish. That said, if you've ever searched for supplements for your cat, you may have come across kelp supplements. And kelp does contain a number of beneficial minerals and vitamins, but the quality and level of iodine in such natural supplements is often inconsistent. Not to mention, excess iodine can be incredibly harmful to your cat, which we will get into more in a little bit. Now, when it comes to the recommended daily requirement for dietary iodine for cats, I sifted through multiple clinical studies and published reports and veterinary articles, and still had a hard time finding what I would consider an accurate suggestion, because the fact is, nobody seems 100% sure. First of all, many of these studies utilize dry matter basis, aka dry kibble, as their source of feeding. And second to that was wet canned food. Plus, there are many scientific sources and studies that argue the need for additional dietary iodine in cat food at all. That said, for those who do feel more comfortable with a number guideline to go by, a report based on the National Research Council's nutrient requirements for dogs and cats, which is considered a universal go-to for this subject, does state that the daily minimum recommendation for dietary iodine in adult felines of average weight, which is about 9 to 10 pounds, is 88 micrograms. Now, when it comes to the difference between light iodized salt and regular iodized salt, let's compare them side to side. You can see in comparing the Morton's brand Lite Salt, which is what I use for Puppy's food, contains 290 milligrams of sodium per quarter teaspoon, or 1.4 grams, which is about half of the sodium content of what you see in the regular iodized salt. The Lite Salt also contains 350 milligrams of potassium per serving and around 60 micrograms of iodine. That said, one of the most common questions that I've gotten is, what do I do if I can't find the Lite Salt specifically? Can I still use regular salt? And the answer is yes. You just want to make sure that it is regular iodized salt, and you want to use half the amount that the recipe calls for. Or if you're using the raw food recipe calculator on catladyfitness.com, you're going to want to use half of the amount that comes up in the Lite Salt box of the regular iodized salt. Your cat may not be getting the same exact amount of iodine as if you were using Lite Salt, but iodine is still provided in the food through other ingredients. For example, the egg yolks. One large egg yolk contains about 9 micrograms of iodine on average, and similar to the nutrients in the meat and organs that you're using, that specific amount can vary depending on other factors like the hen's feed or environment. If you're asking yourself what the adverse health effects could be by using a little less iodine in the recipe, chances are you have nothing to worry about. This study from 1992, which was done over the span of 12 weeks, is just one of a few that I found which show that limiting the dietary iodine in a healthy cat's diet does not result in a clinical deficiency. Basically, with iodine, the risks come from having too much as opposed to too little. Though, remember that if your cat is eating a poor diet that lacks nutrients in general, you'll likely see a decline in health. This is why it's so important to keep up with your annual vet visits and to consult with your fur baby's medical professional if you have any concerns or think that anything may be wrong. Just don't be surprised if your vet has either never heard of raw cat food or really doesn't know much about it and the benefits that it can provide. So to summarize what we've learned in today's video and hopefully help you make a more informed decision as a cat lady or cat dad, here are some of the things to consider when you're figuring out the right dietary intake for your feline fur baby. First thing, if you can't find Lite Salt, use half the amount of regular iodized salt that the recipe calls for. Also remember that there have been studies showing that healthy cats being fed a low iodine or iodine restricted diet don't show any signs of deficiency or ill health effects. And when it comes to supplements, even if they contain nutrients that may otherwise be beneficial, natural supplements like kelp are often inconsistent in terms of quality and iodine levels. And remember that too much iodine can be harmful. And finally, hyperthyroidism, the most common endocrine disease in adult cats, is at epidemic status, and limiting dietary iodine has been shown to return a cat's thyroid hormones to normal levels. Speaking about hyperthyroidism, which we didn't get into in this video, but which goes hand in hand with iodine and with your cat, I have so much interesting and eye-opening information that I found in researching for this video that there's going to be a part 2 specifically about hyperthyroidism, and that will be out next week. Please remember to click that thumbs up below if you liked this video or found it helpful or interesting, and definitely click that subscribe button below as well as the little bell icon that's right next to it, because then you'll be notified when part 2 comes out, and it's really, really good stuff whether your cat suffers from hyperthyroidism or not. And yes, I'm kind of nerding out about it because science and cat lady. Oh, before we go, somebody has to make a cameo. You want to say hello? I love you. Okay. He is obviously late for a meeting or something. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye!